below how your pack opening went, because I'd really appreciate hearing that. Alright, now for those who are in the stream with me, I want to talk about something else today. So just let me change my layout for a moment, because I want to talk about the July event schedule. So before we jump into this, I am filming this part for a second YouTube video, so don't mind me as I just do my video, my YouTube video entrance, because I want to get through that, and then I want to talk about the July schedule with you and what I believe that the July event schedule could mean for the future of Vanguard and what's coming up this month. So I am off for a couple days. It's Canada Day today. It's my birthday tomorrow, so I won't be filming or creating content. So I'm trying to do both at once and minimize the amount of editing that I have to do. So thank you so much for joining me today. It is your boy, it is Crit Diva Jarek, representing Critical World Gaming, and I want to talk to you about the July event schedule, what's coming this month, and what it could mean for the future of Vanguard and set releases. Because today we did drop the new clans. The new clans have come out, and we've got a whole bunch of new rules that have come into Vanguard. Literally, the way Vanguard Zero looks today, compared to the way it looked yesterday, is completely different. We are in a different world of Vanguard Zero. And I want to talk about what our July event schedule says is coming next and what that could mean for us. Because with all of the stuff leading up to July 1st, you know, the announcement of the new clans, the rental system, the changes to ranked fight, the changes to VP, there was a lot to talk about in there. And then we get the event schedule for July, and it changed everything even further. So let's talk about what's going on in July. First, when we saw the rental system, we started to question if that meant we were going to see the tournament system. But when we went over what was going to be involved in the tournament system, we didn't actually see the tournament system in the updates. But then the July event schedule came down, and we got notifications that the player tournament system would be coming in, and it will be here. So if you don't know what the player tournament system is, the player tournament system is on the weekends from basically Friday till Sunday. Mini tournament pods will pop up. They do cost gems to enter. You can enter them, and basically what you need to do to win the tournament is you need to win. You'll be in with 7 other people. You're paired together, and you try to win 3 matches. If you win 3 matches, you get a high amount of prizes that you can redeem for special rewards, and it will also put you in a player championship tournament. So we'll have 2 tournaments, or is it 3 tournaments? And then we will have access to the player championship reward. Sorry, I'm just opening it up on a bigger screen for myself. Yeah, so we'll have 3 fighters tournaments this weekend, next weekend, the following weekend, and then there will be a championships tournament. So you will have 5 opportunities a day to be able to enter those tournaments. So 5 opportunities, 5 times you can enter to try and win one of these fighters tournaments. So you do get eliminated basically as soon as you lose, or it might be 2-1. But your goal is to win 3 of them. You get your prizes, you move on to the championships tournament, and you can redeem them for things like SP Toms, and there'll be a whole bunch of cards in there that are SP cards that you can redeem for, and special prizes. So that is a really, really neat new feature that will take place over the weekends. But again, remember that those do cost gems, except you get I believe the first opportunity every day might be free, or just your first opportunity in general. My memory is a little bit fuzzy on that. The second big thing that we got this month is we are getting 2 clan events. Now, we knew that Goki Damanji's Resolve was going to be a clan event. Just following the history of what JP did, we knew that we were going to get our Gran Blue clan event number 2 this month. Now, that actually starts on Friday. Friday, you will have the opportunity to go in and try and get those Gran Blue cards. And if you have not done the Gran Blue event before, good news for you is that event actually has all of the original Gran Blue cards in there as well. So you can work through that. Now, before you get too excited about that, I do feel it is my duty to inform you that the Gran Blue clan is not exactly stellar, even with the release of Cocytus. It still basically ranks as one of the worst clans in Vanguard, even in this current meta. It's just not all that impressive, but if you're a completionist like me, you will want to go out and pick those up and put that together. So that is really cool and really exciting. Now, what we expected with that is probably to get the Gran Blue event and then the summer event and do another skin event. But instead, we have Avenger from the Alps, or Fighter from the Snow-Capped Mountain, as they called it in Japanese. Now, in the Japanese release, which is the second Spike Brothers event. And that is huge. Huge news. So, the second Spike Brothers event was the June event for Japan. Now, why it's huge news to us is the second Spike Brothers event came with the release of Set 7. We're getting it in Set 5. So there's going to be 2 weeks where the Spike Brothers are 100% certainty in a meta that they've never existed before. And this is Limit Break Spike Brothers. So what is really interesting about that is, when we got the release together of Set 2 and 3, Global kind of had a new meta, but not really. It kind of just had an accelerated meta compared to Japan. Like, we skipped the Set 2 meta being by itself and moved right into the Set 2-3 meta. The addition in the last half of July of the Spike Brothers Limit Break is crazy, because Spike Brothers right now in JP is easily Tier 2, arguably low Tier 1, but easily a Tier 2 deck, especially in the hands of someone like Living Proof. So the fact that we're going to get that now is really, really big, and there's no doubt in my mind that Spike Brothers Part 2 will be a Tier 1 deck at the end of this month. Like, make no mistake about it, it's going to be, I would argue that it will be the third best deck in the format, with only MLB and Dote being better than it. And I'm going to say that because MLB and Dote are better than it now in JP, and they're nerfed. So pre-nerfed MLB and Dote should still be better than Spike Brothers 2, but Spike Brothers 2 is going to be a huge player in the meta for that 2 weeks. Well, it's going to be a huge player in the meta for a long amount of time. The question is, what meta is it going to exist in? So with Spike Brothers 2 being released, we now have to start questioning, what does August 1st bring us? Does August 1st bring us the Set 6 release? Or does August 1st bring us a Set 6 and 7 combined release? And it's a good question that we need to start asking ourselves now. There are positives and negatives to doing a Set 6 and 7 release together. And that's what I want to kind of just quickly go over if Spike Brothers 2 means that. So a Set 6 and 7 release together means that we are going to have 3 really, really, really big months of back-to-back resources and stuff coming in. Because we will have this month, which is a double clan event plus 4 new clans. Then if August releases Set 6 and 7 together, we are going to get support for Pale Moon, Dark Irregulars, Nova Grapplers, Battle Sisters, Nova Grapplers, Oracle Think Tank, Great Nature, Angel Feather, as well as the new Coral cards, Dimension Police support, and Aqua Force all coming out at the same time. Plus, there's a good chance they would run the Neo Nature event. So that is 1 month in August. That would be 11 clans that are getting kind of support and new cards. And that's also not to mention that we would also get Spectral Duke in there. So that's 12 sets of support that would kind of happen in the month of August. And then if we were following Japan, we would then go into September, and we would get four clan supports again, plus another 2 character fight events, which would be a huge amount of things to happen in back-to-back months, like to the point where I'm not sure Global could actually support that level of influx coming in. The other reason I would see a negative in seeing the Set 6 and 7 release is that some of the decks that had limited time to shine in set 6 being there would be completely under the radar, like Battle Sisters, Dark Irregulars, and Death Army Nova Grapplers would basically become non-existent. And the only two things that would still kind of be part of that meta in set 6 and 7 release and be relevant are Lukier from Pale Moon, and of course, we would have the Duke. So we'd have Duke in Shadows having available to the Spectral Duke stuff. So that would be good for them. But on the other hand, if we only get set 6, those have the opportunity to shine for a whole month, and we will also have a brand new meta for like 6 weeks, where we have the same Japanese meta with Limit Break Spike Brothers in the middle of it. And then we would probably, if we only got a set 6 release, I would imagine the other thing that we would get is we would end up with 2 skin events in August instead, and then, keep on as normal. So it's a hit and miss on what's going to happen. But the fact that Spike Brothers 2, for at least the last 2 weeks of July, is going to be here is going to be crazy. It is going to be huge for us to take a look at and really have an advantage. So I will be doing probably early next week, I will be doing my set 5 tier list and what's going to be going on in set 5, what to expect, and I will be including the Spike Brothers Limit Break meta in that and where I expect them to be, because we'll need to know for the last 2 weeks. So it'll kind of be like an asterisk one. This is Spike Brothers in the first 2 weeks, this is Spike Brothers in the last 2 weeks. But we certainly have an exciting and packed July to look forward to. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this video was useful, and I would love to know if you want to put in the comments below, if you're watching on YouTube, what you think. In August, are we going to get a set 6 and a set 7 blended release because Spike Brothers is out in this month? Or are we just going to get a brand new meta with set 6 with Spike Brothers Limit Break, which is huge. It'll be a first individual meta for us in Global, and I think that would be pretty awesome. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching us on YouTube, I wish you an absolutely fantastic day, and may the crits be in your favor.